is just covered in books. Good morning. So today I have the day off. Typically this time of year is a little bit triggering for me, and it's getting less and less so, thankfully, but I still wanted to go and be a little bit mindful of things and just to play things on the safe side. And place things on the safe side. So I took Friday and Monday off for a long weekend, and today what we're gonna do is just kind of take myself out on a cute little solo date day, which I'm really excited for. Originally I had planned on going to the local indie bookstore, but I don't think I have enough time when they open, and also driving there and driving back home, because at 11 I am doing my sprints for Escape the Readathon. Sprints, knock on wood, have been getting a little bit easier for me, which has been really nice, but I have those and I just want to be mindful of time and not really rush myself, because that will get the anxiety really flowing. So instead I'm gonna go to the new Barnes that is a lot closer to me, and I've only been there once, I think like a week after they opened. It's my hope that since it's a weekday it won't be as hectic and I can maybe do a little bit of filming in the store and take things at a nicer pace. And then after that I'm gonna get some Taco Bell because I've kind of been craving it. So yeah, I'm taking myself on a cute little date day. It will be so much fun. Also, you guys can't see it right now, but Cicero is behind my camera and he's in a sunbeam and just looks so peaceful. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. It's just gonna be a fun little self-care day vlog, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we'll see what damage I do at the bookstore. I have a few books on my list that I'm interested in. I don't plan on spending too much money, so we're gonna try to behave and be okay, but we'll see based off of the vibes and everything and my mood and whatnot. So we'll see how things go. Also, this is a completely different view. This is a bookshelf that you don't usually see. It is not organized. I have basically a lot of my ARCs and publisher mail that I receive, as well as my romance books. So that's usually what's on this bookshelf over here. The bookshelves that you usually see in a lot of my videos are over this way. And eventually I will do an updated bookshelf tour. I just really need to organize things because I am honestly out of space, and so a lot of the books are stacked on top of each other and in very weird, not really aesthetically pleasing angles. So I'd like to go and fix that. I also do have some more books that are over on this side and some books that are in our bedroom too. So our entire top floor of our house is just covered in books, which honestly I don't see anything wrong with that. Charles would like to disagree with me, but whatever, there are worse things to spend money on. But yeah, so we're gonna do that, do a fun little cute bookstore date, and I'll take you along. Not on this camera though, I'm gonna take you along on my phone, so quality is gonna change a little bit, which hopefully you don't mind. I just don't want to log my one and only camera around and risk breaking it. Let's go. I've yapped long enough. Neggy, I've yapped long enough, and Neggy's just very cute. All right, talk to you in a bit. All right, so I just got here. I realized like partway through that my GPS was actually bringing me to the wrong Barnes & Noble. So that was a fun detour, but luckily I was able to easily go and recorrect that because for the most part I knew where the Barnes & Noble was. There's a roundabout, and as a South Dakota girly, I did not grow up with roundabouts, so there's something that I have to get a little bit more used to. And I also rarely ever leave the house, like I've alluded to in some past videos. I just tend to usually leave the house with Charles instead of going on my own. So this is kind of my first solo adventure in a hot minute, basically since I lived alone. So a bit out of practice, but also very excited to just kind of take myself on this solo date. The parking lot is very empty, but I have to remind myself that today is a weekday and it's not when a lot of people normally are out and about. So I've triple checked the store's hours and they should be open now. So I'm gonna go and venture and check things out and try to deal with my social anxiety. So we'll see how things go. And oh, also I have my cute little tote bag. I'm the reader, it's me. I know it's not Halloween or anything like that, but I had my Elsie silver tote bag, but I was like, I don't really want to bring that one, especially since it's a bit more on the spicier end. So let's go with one that screams just like fall girlies. And yeah. So let me stop yapping and procrastinating. Let's go in the bookstore. Alright, so we're home. I had a kind of rush and everything. It is basically 15 minutes away from doing sprints, but I had a fun time at the bookstore. I think what I'll do is maybe during one of the reading sprint breaks, I'll do a little bit of a book haul. I definitely did more damage than I had planned, but all of the books were ones that I did want. However, there were 2 books that I wanted to get that I wasn't able to see. I was able to find the other books in the series, but not the first book. I think for Bonded by Thorns is the name of the book. I've mostly been wanting to read it because a lot of the other hosts for both Realmathon and Escape the Readathon have read these books, and I've been feeling very like out of the loop and really wanting to go and read it. I'm going to probably go and order that, as well as the other book, Smoke and Scar. I really wanted to get the hardcover book for this one because I really loved the end pages, but they only had the paperback, which normally I'm totally fine with, but I wanted the hardback for this one. So I'm probably gonna have to go and order that as well. But like I said, during one of the reading sprint breaks, I will do a little bit of a book haul and show you everything that I've gotten. Plus, I also do have some surprise book mail that arrived the other day, and normally I save these for my book mail videos, but I thought that since this is a fun little like bookish video, a day in the bookish life, whatever you want to call it, I thought that this could be fun to go and open. So we'll do that a little bit later. And then I got my Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell, but Charles isn't really a huge fan of it, so I ended up going and getting it. However, I have horrid hearing. This is something about me that I don't know if I've necessarily shared in my videos, but my hearing is horrid. Whenever we watch shows or anything like that, I always have to have the subtitles on because I kid you not, I cannot understand a lot of things that people say. I didn't go to a lot of concerts growing up. I think the biggest thing is maybe just listening to my music too loud, but a lot of the time I have to ask people to go and repeat what they're saying because I cannot understand a single thing that they say. That kind of happened at the drive-thru, and so I got a Crunchwrap Supreme, but then I also got 3 beef crunchy tacos, which I guess isn't too bad of a thing. That's totally fine, whatever. But yeah, so that was a little bit of a piece there. Nuggie is giving me very sad eyes because I left her for an hour, and usually she's never left alone. I'm always home with her, so whenever I'm not home, it confuses her greatly. We're actually also getting up to Nugget's gotcha day, so we're gonna have to see if we can do something for her, because this time of year, although these dates hold really triggering memories for me, one perk for this time of year is also Nuggie's Gotcha Day, so that is always a great thing to go and be reminded of. But I'm going to finish getting things set up for reading sprints, and then I will basically do a lot of the other stuff that I didn't have time for. I also have 2 minutes left of Japanese Gothic, so I'm gonna finish up that. I'll give my final thoughts there in a different video because I still need to finish up my week 1 vlog for Escape the Readathon. I am very behind on things. So that's probably going to be like week 1 and week 2 combined. As you can tell, we're all over the place. We're a not so hot mess, but I'll talk to you in a bit. I am currently on sprints right now. There's a few people kind of trickling in. A lot of people are maybe working and lurking or doing things like that. But I figured for the first reading sprint, especially since I'm not too hungry, we'll go over the books that I got from Barnes. As you can tell, she's kind of chunky, she's kind of overfilled. I had a complete list going into there, and then, oh, I forgot there was another book I wanted to get, and I didn't pick it up. Alright, I'm probably gonna have to do a separate order through Barnes and maybe look at actually doing the membership. They were asking me when I was there, and I was like, you know what, I want to, but I don't know if I should. But I think I probably should. I feel like that would be a good decision financially to go and get that membership piece. Hopefully this angle is okay. Maybe what we'll do that so you're not seeing, well, you're kind of still seeing a lot of the nonsense in the side of the office, but I'm too lazy and I can't be bothered to get my tripod out, so you're gonna have to deal with this view. These books, like I said, were all ones that were kind of on my list. I think only one of the books technically follows my tentative book ban list, where it was basically going and getting a book in the series or whatnot. But a lot of these other books have been ones I've been really wanting to read. And the thing is, a lot of them were in paperback now, so it was a lot cheaper for me to go and get them. Ironically, the books that I really wanted to snag at Barnes were actually hardcover, and I didn't get them. One of them I didn't get, the other one they didn't have. They only had it in the paperback form, and I really, really want the hardcover form. I'll put some images up here so you can see it, but it's so beautiful. One of the books that I got was actually Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. This one was one that has been on my list. I've really wanted to read it. I have my friend Jess, and I'll link her channel down below because I'm having a complete brain fart and can't remember what her channel name is at the moment. Oh, it's My Cats Can't Read. She actually read this book and she really liked it. I don't think she was a fan of a piece of the ending, but she loved it, and I was like, I've been really wanting to pick up this book, especially because it has cats. I love cats. I know I also do have a dog, which is Nugget, but I love cats too, and I just thought this would be such a precious and wholesome read. And as you see, it says $5 off, so I was like, you know what, we're just gonna snag it now. This says, a woman who runs a cat rescue in 1920 Montreal turns to a grouchy but charming magician to help save her shelter. Heartwarming cozy fantasy. Now, I tend to read maybe like a couple cozy fantasy books a year because half of the time they make me cry, they remind me of my grandma, but this is definitely one I want to read. And for some reason, I just really love how the picture itself is printed onto the book, so it's not like a dust jacket or anything like that. That is so nice. I wish more books would do this because I'm a complete fan. And Nuggy, like always, is eating behind me because I am recording. Then another book I had was Arcane Study of Stars by Sydney J. Shields. I absolutely loved The Honey Witch by her, so when I saw that she had another book she was working on, I was like, I need it. And I wasn't able to go and get selected for an ARC for this book or even an e-ARC, so I had to go and pick up this one. This was actually one I forgot until I laid eyes on it at the table, but this says, this is a dark academia fantasy filled with ancient secret societies, bitter rivals, tortured lovers, and dangerous deals made after dark. I'm really excited for this. Like I said, I love The Honey Witch. I can't remember if I rated it 5 stars or 4.5 stars, but either way, I loved it. I really like this author's way of writing so far and her world building, so we'll see how this one goes, but I'm very excited for it. Then one that I didn't plan on picking up was Under a Carnivore Sky by Brianna Jett. I don't know why, but I was struggling with figuring out if I was saying that right. You know, sometimes like when you read something and you're like, wait, does that sound correct? That just happened for me. But this was one I didn't necessarily plan on picking up. It wasn't one on my radar, but when I saw the spine and everything, I was like, carnivore, ooh, sign me up, I'm curious. So I really like the cover of it. It looks like we have some pitcher plants, but with teeth, which is just so cool because I love plants and people in the covers. We also do have these sprayed edges, which just kind of have those plants that we see on the top. One thing I definitely noticed when I was in Barnes & Noble, there were so many books that had sprayed edges, especially paperbacks. It was a little overwhelming, but the thing I really liked about it was that they at least had patterns like this, and they weren't sprayed one specific color. So this says, I'm the only one left hunting the monster, the only one left with a chance of saving us all. Raised in a town surrounded by a labyrinthian, man-eating swamp, Lily craves nothing more than to track down the monster lurking in its depths and kill it. That sounds so cool. And it's a really thin read, so this might be one that maybe I try to fit in with my apocalyptic type of thing. You know, I really should have opened up this book when I was looking at it, but it is written like this. And I feel like there is some challenge that I'm doing that actually calls for a book that's written in a different way. So I might be able to fit this one in, but I'm a little bit bummed finding out that it's not written the way a book normally is, because this is $19. I would have liked to get this book if it was less and not the price of a full-priced book, you know? Just a little nitpicky thing. The next book that I got was Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This was one that was very viral last year, and I was intrigued about it because of the whole dystopian piece, but then there was a lot of back and forth about this author and if they were like an AI author or all these other things, and that was kind of one of the reasons why I didn't pick it up right away. I wanted to wait and see what the final verdict was. And from what I've gathered, I haven't heard that again, so I figured it was safe to go and get this. A lot of people that I trust their opinions for really liked this book as well. So this is a sizzling dystopian romance series. Psychic gifts are a death sentence, and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. I've been living for dystopian books lately, and they are making a comeback, which makes me so excited. So I can't wait to check this one out. I know the next book already came out too, so if I like this one, I can easily run to go and get the next one, and it would work for my tentative book ban because that was technically one of the rules. I'm supposed to stick to books that are in a series, and I broke that with this. We will start fresh next month. This month doesn't count because this was a mental health gift for myself. But I had to get this one, especially since it's on paperback now. Paperback isn't as expensive as hardback. Still pretty pricey, but we have to deal with what we can get, and this is it. Then, speaking of dystopian books, I decided to go and get Beneath by Ariel Sullivan. So this is a prequel series to Conform, and Conform is a book that I read last month, and I actually did a reading vlog as well, so you can either go to my vlog where I talked about that book or my wrap-up. Both of them kind of explain like my feelings about the book overall, except the wrap-up actually does final thoughts because I was able to finish the book. I really wanted to go and check this one out. I am a little bit intrigued because it is a prequel series. I don't think I've ever read a prequel series before, so this will be interesting to kind of get more of a look into the world building and what basically happened that started it all before Conform happened. So I can't wait to check this one out. I'm not going to read anything on this one because in case if you wanted to read Conform first and get a little bit more info there before starting this one, I don't think this one necessarily would have spoilers, but I think the reading order of it would probably be to read Conform first before this one. That's just my speculation. I don't necessarily know, but I'm excited to check this one out. She is a little bit of a chunkier one, but I do really love the cover. She's so pretty. Then a book that I've been really wanting to pick up and read is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. And I've been trying my hardest to go and get a copy of this book because I just figured I'd rather read this than listen to it as an audiobook. A lot of the time with audiobooks, I just don't listen to it 100% and then I miss some pieces. So I was kind of going back and forth, and Alexis, and I'm also forgetting Alexis's channel, I asked her and I think she was fine with recommending either the audiobook or the physical, but I think just at least for my initial read I want to do physical. And I've been trying to get my hands on this book, but every time I try to look for it, I'd use Bookstore or even Book Outlet, it would get snagged up so quickly. And in the used bookstores, it was always a tinier version, like the mass paperback version, and I really don't like those because, at least with my hands, it really hurts my hands to hold those books open. So I was excited that I was able to see this one. This was one I completely forgot until I actually saw it and made eye contact with it on one of the bookshelves. So this is a very popular book where it's a haunting tale of obsessive love, a mesmerizing psychological thriller, which honestly, sign me up. I love psychological thrillers. It says, in Monte Carlo, our heroine is swept off her feet by the dashing widower Maxime de Winter and his sudden proposal of marriage. Orphaned and working as a lady's maid, she can barely believe her luck. It is only when they arrive at Manderley, her husband's carnivorous estate on the Cornish coast, that she realizes how vast a shadow his late wife Rebecca will cast over their lives, introducing a lingering evil that threatens to destroy their love from beyond the grave. I'm so excited. I've heard great things about this book, and I know there also was a movie that was based off of it, but I've avoided that because I always prefer to read the book first before going into something like a movie or a TV show that something is based off of. All right, and then last book that I decided to pick up was The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. This was one that I kind of looked at before when we went to Barnes, and I took a picture of it to kind of remember later, and then I was hearing a lot of people talk about it, especially during Escape the Readathon, and then Tori was also going and talking about it as well and saying how much she loved it. So I was like, okay, sure, we're gonna go and check this out. So this says, magic and adventures swirl as a young woman reignites the embers of an ancient prophecy, unleashing a storm that could save her realm or doom them all. I believe the second book came out. I don't know if it's a duology or anything, but that does really make me happy because if I do like this book, I can easily run to continue on with the story and know what happens next. But these were all the books that I got. I got 7 books. Like I said, I did a little bit of damage, but all of these books were ones minus the carnivorous one. All of these ones were ones that I had my eye on, that I went to Barnes & Noble with the intention of picking up. So these weren't books that just randomly jumped into my arms, which I'm sure that the booksellers thought that was the case, because when I was wrapping up, one of them was like, do you need a bag? It's like, no, I need to check out. I need to get out of here. But I'm excited to read these all. I'm definitely noticing that there's a lot of romantasy books in this pile, and romantasy isn't necessarily usually the book type that I get drawn to, but I feel like there's so many romantasy books that people are raving about, and I really want to try to expand those books and like pick up other ones that I'm hearing people are enjoying. And especially if I haven't heard anything about the author not being a great person or supporting things that don't line up with me morally. I don't think I've heard anything that way with any of these books, but if you've heard otherwise, I appreciate knowing. So if you could let me know, that might influence whether or not it is a book that I do talk about on my channel moving forward, because I would rather highlight people that do line up with my morals and my beliefs and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna go and actually pick up my book now for the reading sprints. We have a few people that are chilling here, and we have Spirit City Lo-Fi on, and I don't feel as nervous with reading sprints now as I did before. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning when I hit go live because I didn't know if my sound was working or anything, but it was working. We're good. And yeah, I'm gonna go and get back to sprints, probably eat some of my Taco Bell, and see what books I can go and finish. Into her boyfriend and was with another guy, like doing completely innocent things. Innocent, but yeah, we'll see how things go. Okay, we are currently on sprints right now. I had some Taco Bell, my Crunchwrap Supreme. Oh, so good. It has been a hot minute since we've had that. There was a different place that Charles and I went and ordered some stuff from. It kind of seemed similar to Chiba Hut in a way, but instead of sandwiches, it was more so like wraps and like Mexican inspired things. But they had something that was similar to a Crunchwrap Supreme, and honestly, huge disappointment, not great. It really lacked in a lot of the flavor. I ran up the stairs, so that is why I'm out of breath. But yeah, so nothing seems to surpass Taco Bell and how amazing Taco Bell is with their Crunchwrap Supremes. So I ate that and then realized, oh shoot, I've been needing to do laundry. So I really quick went and ran down, filled up everything so that we can have nice clean bed sheets tonight, because honestly, that is superior. It is the best feeling in the world. Clean sheets, love it. That will always heighten my mood 100%. So did that. And before I forget, because I feel like for the rest of the sprints, I really do need to like lock down. So this will probably be the last one for the sprints where I do a lot of dilly-dallying and not so much any reading. But I figured let's go and open this packet together. It says from Kaylee Webb, Hatchet NYC. I don't know what's in this, but I'm very excited. It says, "Who will survive the night" on it. Go and open this up. Let us see what's inside it. Ooh, okay. So apparently this is the dark edition. The Shadows That Listen by Louisa Carmody. Angels and demons are at war. Humanity is caught in the middle. This sounds cool. It says, demons are creatures of darkness. The safest place for us is wherever the light is. Okay, this sounds awesome. And this is uncorrected proof. Let's see if I can get some more info on it. An unput-downable dystopian romantasy with an intense slow burn romance, perfect for fans of Shadowhunters and Crescent City. So ironically, on my sprints before I went and hopped in for the next reading section, we were all talking about how much we love slow burns. So the fact that this is a slow burn and dystopian, oh, amazing, sign me up. It's also really cool. It kind of has these darker shaded end pages. Then we have the author on the back of it. We also have a map, and then there's content warnings. So it says, some content in this book may be triggering for readers. Please take note of the following triggers before reading. Death, violence, adult language, themes of SA. Please take note of triggers and look after your mental health first. Love whenever there's that. Oh, I am so excited. I have not heard anything about this. So this one is definitely going to be one that you see on my channel soon, but it releases August of this year. And then there were some fun little things that were in it. So we got a fake tattoo. I haven't done these in a hot minute. I don't know if I'll actually use it or maybe just put it in a book journal instead. I feel like I'd want to do that just so I can keep it. I'm very sentimental like that. And then we have a sticker that says, "Who will survive the night?" which would be amazing for a reading journal page specifically for it. We have Angels versus Demons, post-apocalyptic dystopian world. Oh, enemies to lovers, slow burn, only one bed, forced proximity, reluctant team up. Oh, I love all of those so much. And this must be like the light version of the book. So we have the dark one here and then the light one here. I don't know which one I like more. Both of them are really pretty. I'm so excited to read this. This is so cool. And this is a book from Orbit. So thank you so much, Orbit. I can't wait to read this. I'm so excited. All right. So with that being said, I need to get back to reading sprints. But looks like we got another book to add to our ever-growing library. Oh my gosh, I need more bookshelves.
What the flopsiest ears? You just ate food and then you just want to lick my face. Yeah. What stinky boy.